Appamada and its programs are supported by your generosity, and your generosity and support makes such a difference. You can find a link for contributions on the website at appamada.org. Thank you.
So good morning, everyone. It's nice to see you this morning. It's a kind of crisp morning this morning. I would like to welcome all of you online and those who may be listening at some other point in time in Madison, Milwaukee, England, Switzerland, Chicago, Alpine, and Hawaii. So welcome to those folks as well. So I'd like to turn your attention to another topic that has to do with our Sangha, and particularly for this period from now till April 24th. So I'm talking specifically about the practice period. So I think of the practice period as a time of gathering together for practice and a time for study, for more intense study and deepening of study. So the Japanese term for the practice period is Ango or Kesai, and it refers to the 3-month period of intense training for students of Zen Buddhism lasting anywhere from 90 to 100 days. So this tradition comes, the tradition of intense practice period dates back to the summer rainy season retreats of Shakyamuni's time, when the Buddha and his disciples would gather in one place to meditate and study together. Now, I think it would be interesting to just imagine what that was like. So the monks, these monks, many of them were mendicant monks, and they were traveling around from place to place. And so coming back, one, they're getting out of the rain, and two, they're coming to listen to the Buddha for his talks. 3, they're coming and they're meeting with people that they may not have seen since, a year before or longer. And so it's this, it's kind of this special time. They're all traveling by foot, and they're all, just imagine what that's like to come together with your fellow monks. You all do the same thing. It's kind of like a convention, but not exactly. Everyone coming together and swapping stories of what life has been like in the last year, and what they learned or what they taught or what they discovered. I would just imagine it would be really, really exciting. And then they get to experience the Buddha's teaching, not just read them, but actually experience them. And with all these folks that have been traveling out in the world, that it would create this very stimulating environment. So it's a time of gathering, sharing with your peers and other devotees, and deep meditation, listening to, learning from the Buddha, the Enlightened One. So we fast forward to now, and this place, this time, this place. And we're not mendicant monks. We're not monks at all. As a matter of fact, we're householders. And we're taking care of family responsibilities and holding down jobs or raising children or any manner of thing. You're not dedicated to this 24/7 in the way the mendicant monks were. Yet, some 65 of us gathered together for 4 days to start this practice period with the intensive, to meditate for longer periods, listen to the teachings of our senior teachers. And that's really special, I think, for us now, because we don't get to see them every day, and we don't get to see them teach together but once or twice a year now. So it's a special thing, these beginning of the practice period that we just went through. So we get to listen to our senior teachers, and we also get to share together between the members of the Sangha, to talk about what we've been going through with our teachers, and we do it in inquiry, so everybody else gets to hear about it too, and we're sharing that. So we have some similarities between back then and now. So in fact, we have to say that it was indeed a special occasion for us. It is a special occasion, the starting of this practice period. So, and although this practice period was not in person, like we all would probably like that to be, but because of the pandemic, it's not so. So, nonetheless, I firmly believe, it's my experience, that we have created a strong sense of connection through this intensive, despite the fact we're not in person. Granted, it's not the same as being in person, but it's its own thing. It's its own form of connection. So we were able to share our practice and receive answers directly from our senior teachers regarding the questions that we're holding in our hearts. And now we have the opportunity to move forward from that and to further deepen our practice through study or more intensified meditation or more connection through teams with head students or buddies. And there's all these other things that we can do to continue this process of deepening our practice and sharing and being connected. It's an important opportunity for all of us to deepen in a time in history when uncertainty and disharmony are particularly in evidence. I think it's really important, this connection and deep meditation. So let's look at the practice period of Appamada. Most of you are probably used to it, but it never hurts to go over it, and I'm sure there may be a few people here that are not familiar with it. So at Appamada, we generally hold 2 practice periods a year, and they're designed to support participants in this intensification and strengthening of their practice while living in a householder world with family and work responsibilities. And so we all have the option to decide our own level of involvement in this practice, how we might increase it a little bit, try something new for a little while and just see how it fits. And of course it involves guidance from a teacher, right? Just to be sure you get the right thing for you. And it also involves encouragement, as I said before, from the shushos or the head students and or a buddy. So we had the practice period begin with the 4-day intensive on silent illumination and the shusho entering ceremony, during which Jessica Steinbommer and Nate Smalley officially became our shushos or head students for this period. And the practice will close on April 24th. And again, there'll be another intensive, and then there'll be the exiting ceremony, head student exiting ceremony, during which the shushos or head students will answer questions from the participants. And that'll be the weekend of the April 26th to the 24th. So the head students are considered spiritual friends to the Sangha. As such, each of them are offering a series of classes. Nate's going to be doing the intro to Zen, and Jessica is going to be doing the Zen in the body. They'll also give Dharma talks, and they'll meet for tea with Sangha members. And traditionally, they also have a practice of humility. Like, for me, example, I was sweeping all these cushions. Well, this place was full of cushions back then. And sweeping those every morning before I left the Zendo. Sometimes it's cleaning bathrooms in a lot of other Zendos. So, and I don't know what it is this year because things are changed, and cleaning bathrooms might not be the best thing during COVID, I don't know. But anyway, Peg and Lent will figure that one out. But there's usually that part to it too, of humility. So, the teas with head students. Now, while they're not considered practice discussion as such, they're a meeting where a person can get to know these new leaders, these head students better, and to ask them about, they've been around a while, they know about what Appamada is about, and they're familiar with practice. So you can ask them questions about the practice. And so I really encourage everyone to look for these events on the calendar and to take full advantage of them, and to spend time with these wonderful new head students. And why? It's a benefit on both sides. On one side, you get to know this person, this head student, which is nice, and they have information. You might just learn something from them. I'm sure that's true. And they will be they will be meeting with you, which is a new experience for them. So you're participating in that aspect of it. You're helping them by meeting with them, and they're helping you by them meeting with you. So it's gift, who's the receiver, who's the gift giver, that kind of thing. So it's a great opportunity all the way around for Sangha members for all Sangha members to participate in. So in the practice period, we have the head students we can meet with, and also we started a practice, it's been quite a while actually, with buddies. And how that works is that it's additional support for practitioners. So during this intense practice period. So council members have volunteered their time to meet and talk with you about your practice. So I'll be sending out a list with the people who are able to do that. And because they have several years of practice behind them, they can be a good resource for questions you might have, and also to offer support and encouragement. Because, we've all probably experiencing the same thing, maybe on different levels. I may have experienced something similar to you. I've been here a while, so I may have experienced it, 2 or 3, 4 times, and I'm just on a different layer of it, So we're all working this path. We're all basically together on this. And it's one thing, it's one journey, that we're all going through. So to share that and receive and offer encouragement, both directions, is a great way for us to keep connected as we're going on. So I'll send up a sign-up form for the practice period, and on that form, there are some ideas of how you might want to deepen the practice. So there'll be, if you're just sitting 1 day a week, then you can opt to sit more days a week. You can check that off. Or there's any number of things, or you might want to focus on study, or there's many options on there. And then if you meet with the teacher, there's some other options. I know one year I was a buddy with somebody who was very interested in the work by Tanahashi doing, I guess it's calligraphy, or anyway, it's painting, Japanese painting. And so she did that as her practice period, which was really interesting. So yeah, so then you get the form and you fill it out and you return it back to us, and then we'll set up the buddies. And most people are just signing up for just 1 or 2 people to do that. So you may not get your first choice, but there's a number, I think there's 11 people that are offering that. So there's quite a few people. So I think we'll have enough for everybody. If not, we'll figure that out. So I'd like to talk a little bit about my experience with the practice period and buddies over the years. And I've had the role of buddy, and I've also asked for a buddy. I usually ask for a buddy every time, just because I like the connection. And what I found is there's not much difference, in a way. For new people, it is different because they don't know anything about Appamada, and they may not know what our practice is like, and so buddy can fill them in on that. But in terms of, people who have been here for a while, it's just somebody to be able to talk with and to, I don't know, for me, I can get caught up in internal loops, thinking about an issue, a problem. And a practice buddy is somebody who I know, I can pretty much count on with Appamada, that people hold other people's hearts very tenderly. And so they may say, oh, well, there's this, you might have a blind spot here, so they can help you with that. Offer some feedback if you want it, or just listen. Just sometimes I'm kind of a verbal, what do you call it, processor, and so I have to, a lot of times I have to talk out loud to kind of figure out things. And so it's really great just to have someone listen, and then that way I can kind of figure things out on my own. So that's a possibility too. So and as I said before, this may be the first time somebody may be experiencing something stressful on the path and don't really know how to work with it. And the teacher is always good for that. But in the interim, the buddy can recommend who you might want to talk to, or they can give their feedback if they've had something similar. So the bottom line to all this is we're all Buddhas and we're all human. We're all humans, it's both. So working with other people, having somebody to bounce things off is always kind of a nice thing. So what I tend to remember about my prior experiences about being a buddy is how nice it is to get to know someone. This is, as you know, is a very quiet occupation, or you're in meditation all the time, so you don't get to talk to people and find out the particularities of them. You might get used to their habits, how they sit or how they come in, or the sounds that are affiliated with them, or that kind of thing, but you may not know, where they are in life, what they do. That's usually the first thing you learn about somebody in another environment, but here, probably not. So it's an opportunity to kind of know people on a different level. And so that's kind of what I've enjoyed, is kind of getting to know people in that way, being a buddy. And what I also remember is individual people and the relationship that was, if not already started, increased after having, been a buddy with them. And there was that relating and that connection that were really important for me. I think I'm pretty sure my first buddy was, some people know this person, a lot of people don't, but it was Leela Parrish, who was here, and I got to be a buddy with her. I can't remember if she was who was what, but we used to buddy together, and it was just a lovely experience to hang with her. So yeah, I already mentioned all this stuff. So then, as I say, that the whole thing about the buddy system, it's useful for bouncing off ideas or to have somebody listen, or if you're stuck on something, all that sort of stuff. And the safety of it being a Sangha member, and perhaps knowing, they're knowing or you're knowing the same struggle from your own practice. All those are the reasons. And so one can see a lot of times a person who is practiced, who can tell by the way the questions they may ask or how they're handling things that they have been practiced a while. It feels really calming to be around people like that and to learn from them. So just to sum it up, is the benefits to this time of the practice period is intensification and strengthening and deepening of our practice. We don't have to do it alone. We have lots of other people we can depend on. Our teachers and students, we can meet with them, and we can work with buddies. So there's plenty of ways to plug in. And the buddies, you make up your own schedule when you want to meet and how you want to meet. Do you want to do a walk and talk? Or one person walks, the other listens, and then we swap it over, and there's time in between to just be silent. That's a really good methodology, I think, for practice period. But anyway, so you have this connection that forms around this relationship that you have, and you also have the validation one feels when talking to and listening to someone who has experienced the same things. Oh, okay, I'm not so weird. Most people go through this, whatever it is. So anyway, I want to open this up to see if there's any questions that anybody has about the practice period. I think we pretty much covered most of it, but some people might have some questions, particular questions. So please feel free to raise your hand if you'd like to have anything answered around that.
Elizabeth.
Elizabeth, what would you like to know?
You're unmuted, Elizabeth.
Thank you. Thanks, Maria. Hi, Laurie. Real quick, can you talk more about humility? Just with that, the history of it, what it's about, and other ideas.
Yeah, I'll try to say something about that. So I think that it comes in different levels, but particularly, humility at any level, but sometimes particularly, I think of it, they use it particularly with head students, because now you're moving into a position that, people are looking up to you. And so to kind of counteract that, a sense of humility is very important, because it's true that we're, as I said before, we're all Buddhas and we're all human. And it's important to remember that. And so the act of humility is a way to kind of balance that out. Does that make sense? And what the history of it specifically, I don't know. As long as I've been around here, and granted that hasn't been my whole life, it's always been a part of the tradition. Yeah, I mean, that's a part of Buddhism, is humility.
And so the idea for the practice period is to pick something.
No explanation. That act of humility goes with the head students in particular. So that's not a requirement for everyone else. It's not a bad practice, but it's not a specific requirement. Just for the head student, it's included in part of their duties. Yeah, and I'll add to that though. When we do an intensive, this humility is part of it as well, because there are different roles assigned. And so regardless of the role that you have generally, whether it's participant, or whether you're a head student, or whether you're a teacher or anything in between, everybody does all the roles. So as a teacher, I might be cleaning the toilets. A head student might be cleaning the toilets, or anybody, somebody's got to do it. And so those jobs are basically, maybe the teachers wouldn't be because they've already done their share of cleaning toilets, but I don't know about that. I've never seen that. But at any rate, they're trying to, that we are available for any job. There's nothing special about anybody in that sense. It's kind of evening the plane. Does that answer your question? Thank you.
Yeah, we have Chris who'd like to ask a question.
Hi, Chris.
Hi, Laurie.
How are you?
I'm good. I think I missed some key words. Did I understand you to say that that something will be sent to us to connect with practice buddies and other aspects of the practice period?
Yeah, well, just for signing up for the practice period, we always do that. We send out a little letter for you to officially sign up for the practice period, so we know who's doing the practice period and who isn't. And then on that sheet, there's the different options that you can kind of click off. It's a way to have it so the teachers know, oh, okay, remind them this is what this person is doing, and this is what that person is doing. And so you have a record of it. And then also it's a way for you to say, okay, I would like to meet with so-and-so, and hopefully you'll get
Okay.
that. Yeah.
All right.
So it's kind of the paperwork, right?
Okay, good.
So I'll be sending it out. I'll try to get it out this afternoon.
Okay. Also, do you have suggestions about practicing humility when we're not there in the Zendo? We're not able to do the usual things we do at the Zendo.
Yeah, boy, I really started something, didn't I? Yeah, well, humility, I think, is something that is a good thing to practice, and basically everything that we do in the Zendo, we kind of want to take outside. As they're all, these are practices for, they're non-harming and wholesome, so pride is not exactly high on the list of,
Right.
good things to me. But so that's something to keep in mind, humility. This is a really good topic. Yeah, I should do a Dharma talk on it sometime.
Well, there's no shortage of things around my own home that I can do. There is work to be done in my yard, cleaning, and I can certainly clean my own bathroom.
That'd be a good start. I'm just teasing you. Yeah,
Right.
and I think it's not what you do necessarily,
It's that it be done.
it's how you do it. I think the how.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, the how is much
Yes,
more
of
important
course.
than the what.
Just as we do it there at Appamata.
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's the attitude one brings into dealings, particularly with other people, I think. How we do that.
Can I just ask Laurie?
Yes.
Do you suggest that it's two questions really. Do you suggest that we see one buddy and stick with them, or see different buddies? And how often would you suggest or say to meet with a buddy?
Okay, so first I would stick with one, and unless there's some issue that comes up, then you probably want to talk to the teacher about that, and then you can swap it over to somebody else. But yeah, I would stick with one. And the timing of it is really a discussion you need to have with between the two of you, what works for both of you. So there's no set rule on that. You know, it may be once a week, it may be, you know, once every 2 weeks, it may be 2 times a week, you know, whatever suits the both of you. And that you have time for. Yeah, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Asking that.
Rosemary.
Hi, Rosemary.
Hi, Laurie, thank you. My question is, the form that you're sending is not the signing up, correct? Like you have to go to, I think, am I right? You have to go to the website to sign up for the buddies and also for the head student teas, is that correct?
Okay, no, those are separate things. So
Yes, but you have to go to the website for either of those things.
okay, so for this form is something I'm sending out
Correct.
in an email. And so you fill it out and then you send it back to me. So it's between me.
Right. But it's not, that is not signing up for it.
That is signing up for the practice period, but it's not, if you're saying who you would like to be a buddy with, and then you'll have to communicate with them afterwards.
Through the website, I believe.
Yeah, through the website or through email.
Yeah,
Probably.
That's
Yeah,
what I
you
thought.
can do it through the website. That's right, because all of those people are listed. That's right.
That's what I wanted to know.
Yeah, and the T's are a whole different thing. That's the head students, and they have put on the calendar the dates that they are available for tea. So you can just look those up. And actually, they may be, now that I think of it, you go on the website. They are listed, but they're on the website, and then you sign up for the dates that they are available. That's how that works.
Thank you. That's okay. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome.
Well, I wanted to say, this has been my favorite part of Appamada is this buddy thing. And for example, Laurie and I did it for a long time. And Ellen and I did it for a long time. And I've really, you know, this takes it out of being just a private solitary practice. And I've learned so much from that connection. And then also even though that period might be over, you still have someone at a much higher level to connect to. And then in terms of the humility, I was thinking of the times I've seen various people pick up a cockroach and take it outside. And, you know, humility can even go down to that level where there's no superiority between us and the cockroach. Right off the porch, we've let it go. And, you know, I think I like the idea of thinking of it just as being an equal in this world. Actually, you know, it was around way before we were. It's kind of an elder. That's all.
Yes, indeed. They survive, and they have survived everything, you know, all the plagues and.
My wife did a children's book years ago on Chris the cockroach that I don't think was ever published, but she did the illustrations for it. And so they've been important in our life.
That's great. Thank you, Kim.
Kate.
Hi, Kate.
Hi, good morning. As a relatively new person, how do I make sure my email, I get on the email list? That might be a unique problem or question to me, but yeah.
Yeah, you need to get on the email list, I guess. Kim? How do they get on the email list without being here? You could send something to me and I can make sure.
No, I'll check, but just put your email in chat to me. I just wrote a note.
Okay.
And reply to that and I'll check.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Kim, just for other people, generally, I know when people are come, they can sign up, but how are we doing that now? What's the
There's a place on the website in the bottom right corner where it says sign up for email.
Okay, there you go. Thank you. Okay, well, I guess that's it for now. Thank you for your attention today, and I hope you're as excited about this practice period as I am. It's a great time for learning new things and doing new things and having new connections or more deeper connections with our practice and with other people. So it's an exciting time, not quite as exciting if the Buddha was here, but I guess the Buddha is here, right? We're all Buddhas. So, okay, thank you. We need to do service now.